We're moving along to heavyweight. For the second fight of the evening, Arjun Singh Bhullar taking on Juan Adams, the chosen Juan, the Kraken. Line movement pretty heavy on this one. Bhullar started at minus 150, now at plus 110. So a lot of money coming in on the chosen Juan Adams, plus 110 now at minus 150. Bhullar seems to be the more experienced one in this one, 8-1, 2-1 in the UFC. We talked about that submission loss to Adam Vitrek, that omoplata submission, but he is coming off a win over Marcelo Golm. I like what he's doing. He's marketing himself well with his background and heritage and everything. Had that stuff going with former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. Adams, though, very athletic, but still very green in the process. He cross trains at a lot of different gyms in Houston. But also goes out to Colorado, does some work with Curtis Blades, 5-0 overall, but only out of the first round once. That was in his UFC debut. Big Marcel, what's up in this heavyweight division clash?
Yeah, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Arjun Singh Bhullar, he can probably wrestle Juan Adams, and I think that's where he's looking for. But I think Juan Adams can land that hard punch, man, and can knock him out. So, man, if it goes past the second round, I think Bhullar will win the decision. But if not, I'm going with Juan Adams by a knockout in the second or early second, late first round. That
Yeah.
punch, man.
Yeah, I can see it going that way too. I think if Adams is able to get him down, but going to be pretty tough against an Olympian level wrestler, I believe,
Hmm.
right? Arjun Bowler. Juan Adams, Division One wrestler in his own right, had over 100 collegiate matches at VMI. But I like Bowler to grind out a decision here, keeping making Adams go into deep water and really give him his toughest professional test yet. I'm going to take Arjun Bowler by a decision here.
Okay.
All right, we go to featherweight for this next one. Kyle Nelson, Canadian, taking on Matt Sales. Sales, the American, strong favorite, minus 225. The comeback on Nelson is plus 185. Sales, Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series vet, but took a split loss to Shaman Moraes in his UFC debut, and there's a chance for redemption here. Lots of TKO finishes on that record of Matt Sales. And meanwhile, Kyle the Monster Nelson, short notice bout in his UFC debut as well against Diego Ferreira, up a weight class at 155. A lot of TKO wins on his record too. This could be a real brawl. It could be a fun one here. What do you think, Big Marcel?
Yeah, I actually have a pretty big favorite in this one as well. I think Matt Sales gets his done. I was pretty impressed again with him against Shaman Moraes last time, and he lost that fight in a close decision, I think. But yeah, his contender series fight was pretty impressive against Yazan Haji, I think. And yeah, Kyle Nelson, tough debut, was a short notice one, but I think he did well in the first round. But overall, I favor Sales in this one, man. I think Sales will probably get this done. I think by TKO in the third round, but this will be a fun matchup for definitely.
Yeah, I like Sales as well in this one. I'm going to take him with the TKO in the second round. Uh, you mentioned Yaz and Haja. Great nickname, Yazzle Dazzle. Always found that one fun. All right, we move along and we have another short notice replacement in this next one. Moving up to 170 pounds, Nordine Taleb, minus 320 favorite, originally set to take on Seer Bahadurzada, but now he draws Canadian Kyle Prepolek, who is a plus 260 underdog, to the minus 320 favorite Taleb. Taleb, 37 years old, had won 3 of 4, but finished in his last two by Claudio Silva and Sean Strickland. Prepolek, meanwhile, 29, a little over a week's notice for this one. 12-5, not as impressed with the record. He has won back-to-back fights, most recently getting a decision win over UFC veteran Cody Pfister. Big Marcel, is this fight closer than the line suggests or no?
No, I don't think so, man. I think Carl Prepolacki got that short notice fight, and it's pretty much if you take a short notice fight like that, or you got how do you say that? You got a good preparation. He was preparing, I think, for Mike Santiago to fight later,
Correct.
but normally those short notice fights is like I'm in the UFC now, and let's see what my second fight goes to. Mostly, but yeah, I take Northern Taleb in this one, probably by keeping the distance and. He can hit him. I think in the first, maybe the second round by a TKO. So I'm taking Noradine. I blocked Big Marcel on Instagram to let.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I have
Oh
still no
my.
idea
Well,
why.
did you break some fight news or something that that pissed him
I
off?
I have no idea, man. I knew it since like 2 months ago. I thought he didn't have any Instagram, but then I saw UFC News Alert, Farah Hanoun. I saw her tagging him. I was like, why can I see his Instagram? So I went to Google without logging in, and then I saw his pictures. I was like, what the hell, man?
Well, I'm also picking Taleb to get it done by a decision, but now I'm rooting for Kyle Prepolek because he blocked my boy Big Marcel. So that's that fight. Let's go ahead and move things along. 135-pound fight on deck. Ayman Zahabi taking on Vince Morales. Zahabi a minus 165 favorite. The comeback on Morales plus 145, and the line's been moving in his direction actually. Zahabi out of action for quite a while. He's coming off a KO loss to Ricardo Ramos, and that was, I believe, in November of 2017. So long time on the shelf. Seems like a well-rounded guy. Notably, he's the younger brother of TriStar coach Faraz Zahabi. World of great teammates up at that gym. Vince Morales, the cousin of Ricky Simone at bantamweight. He is 0-1 in the UFC, dropping a decision to Song Yadong. Just not sure he's all there yet. I wasn't all that impressed with him on the Contender Series, a fight he lost. And man, where's Domingo Pilarte? When's he going to make his UFC debut? Sorry to get sidetracked. Big Marcel, take it away.
I didn't even know he was the cousin of Ricky Simone. So okay, thanks for the lesson. Um, yeah, Vince Morales, like you said, man, hasn't been impressive so far. He has one fight, it's short notice against Song Yadong, I think, in China was that. Against Pilar, he did well in the first round, but in the second round he got finished. Ayman Zahabi, um, he's a finisher, man. But in the UFC, unanimous decision win against Reginaldo Vieira, who won the Ultimate Fighter Brazil 4, I think. And yeah, then that loss against Ricardo Ramos, which can happen. I think a close fight. Both guys love to come out and brawl first round. Probably a split decision win for Zahabi here.
Yeah, I'm taking a unanimous decision victory for Zahabi. I think he's got a pretty decent matchup here, and Vince Morales. Like I said, he's a tough guy, but I'm not sure he's quite this talent level is there yet. For all the deep talent that there is at 135 pounds. Headlining the prelims for 135 pounds on the female side, we got Sarah Cheesecake Morass taking on Macy Chiasson. Chiasson is the biggest betting favorite on the card, minus 650, and she's currently sitting at 14 in the rankings. The comeback on Sarah Morris is plus 475. Chiasson coming on short notice for this one, replacing her Ultimate Fighter castmate, Leah Letson. And man, she seems like the real deal. Big Marcel, what's your take on Macy Chiasson?
Dude, I can only say two things. Super impressive and Fortis MMA, man. I mean, Macy Chiasson, man, I'm blown away by what she did so far in the octagon. It's very impressive, and I completely agree with the line here. I think Macy Chiasson will smoke Sarah Moras probably in the first round. TKO win for Macy here.
I'm right there with you. She looks impressive, man. I think she gets it done with the TKO in the second. Really just solid hands. And have we seen someone with such good finishing instincts at 135 pounds in that long of a time? It doesn't seem like it. And Morass on a little bit of a slide right now. I think it's a good fight for Chiasson, and she'll get it done here in that prelim headliner.
Yeah.
All right, kicking off the main card, we got the former, I believe, TKO middleweight champion making his UFC debut. That is Marc-Andre Barriault, and he takes on Andrew Sanchez. Sanchez, the minus 145 favorite. The comeback on Barriault is plus 125, and actually, this line opened up pretty much the opposite and has gone in the complete opposite direction. We know the great James Lynch has been all in on Andrew Sanchez for this line. He's been talking about that on his show for quite some time. Power bar, Marc-Andre Barriault, UFC debut. We talked about he's 11-1 overall and 8 straight. His most recent win was over Adam Hunter. And no, that's not the MMA roasted comedian. That's Adam Hunter, the Warhammer, who was suspended from the UFC when he was supposed to make his UFC debut, popped for steroids and received a suspension and ultimately released. Lots of TKOs on his record, though. Meanwhile, Sanchez was that Ultimate Fighter 23 winner at light heavyweight. A little bit of a mixed bag in the UFC, but he did get back in the win column last August against Marcus Perez. He used to mostly train at TriStar and in Las Vegas. I'm not sure where he's going now because back in the day he was with K Dojo. Might be something good to check on, but a good wrestler doesn't always use it in the UFC. Big Marcel, we taking the UFC newcomer here, or are you going with the seasoned vet?
Going with the seasoned vet, man. I think Andrew Sanchez will go for the takedown, keeps him down, and grinds out the unanimous decision win against Marc-André Barriault. So, yeah.
Yep, I'm right there with you. But if Sanchez does end up finding himself in a slugfest again, I think that's where Barrio can obviously take it. But I think he's going to go to his wrestling in this one. I just have that kind of feeling. I think he's going to build off that big win over Marcus Perez.
Yeah.
All right, we move along to heavyweight. Another debuting fighter here. Walt the Big Ticket Harris taking on Sergey Spivak. Harris minus 155. Spivak is plus 115 in the underdog. Big ticket, Walt Harris, been around the block in the UFC. He's 12-7 overall, but he has won back-to-back fights. Primarily a striker, big left hand. He's very athletic. He's a former college basketball player. Spivak out of the Ukraine is 24 years old, 9-0, but a little bit of questionable competition on that record. Debutants have not fared well in the UFC this year. Big Marcel, what's your take on this bout at heavyweight?
Yeah, man. I mean, Walt Harris, I think his last fight got overturned in a no contest, right, against Arlovsky because of
Oh, did
the,
it?
yeah,
Oh,
man.
okay.
So, yeah, but that's it. He won the fight. Sergey Spivak, he got definitely two notable names on his record with Travis Fulton, the guy with over 300 or 400 fights, and Tony Lopez. Yeah, man, but different competition. UFC, I think Walt Harris will grind this one out. Unanimous decision win. I think Harris will take this one.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go with the big ticket as well, but I think he's going to land that big left hand, put him away in the second.
Okay.
Awesome fight at 135 pounds coming up here between Merab Dvalishvili and Brad Katona. Dvalishvili, a minus 150 favorite. Comeback on Katona plus 130 here. Big Marcel, I'm going to let you kick things off with this one.
Yeah, man, this is a tricky one to pick, I think, because Merab Dvalishvili is 1-2 in the UFC, but he should have been 3-0 in my opinion. Um,
Did
he
you
lost to,
was that you?
yeah,
Did you say something on James Lynch's podcast earlier this week about that?
yeah.
I heard that.
Did you read that?
Yeah, he answered your question on the air, so I heard it later. But yeah,
Okay, I'll have to check it back because I had to go, so I didn't hear his answer. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, Merab Dvalishvili, 1-2. Last fight he won against Tyrion Ware, but he got robbed, and I say robbed against Frankie Sainz. And the Ricky Simone fight, yeah, judge that for yourself. I think he was out 50 seconds before the end of the round, but the stoppage was terrible, I think, because he wasn't out at the end. If the ref should have stopped it, he should have stopped it 50 seconds earlier. Brad Katona, very impressive so far. Should have had a finish in his last fight against Matthew Lopez, but the ref didn't want to cooperate in that one. Ultimate Fighter winner, very impressive. Pretty much knocked out one of the favorites. Yeah, knocked out of the competition by decision, Kyler Phillips, and then rear naked choke Bryce Mitchell. So very intriguing fight, man. If I really have to pick, I say Brad Katona, but I wouldn't be surprised if Merab Dvalishvili with his crazy cardio will do it. So, but I'm going with Brad Katona here by, let's say, split decision. But this will be an intriguing one, definitely.
yeah, this is fun, and you hit the nail on the head, man. Somehow Dvalishvili is 1-2 in the UFC, but really he should be 3-0. I just love how busy he stays in there. We know he's working really closely with Aljamain Sterling, Sarah Longo fight team up there. Katona, world of potential, though. I mean, he is at SBG Ireland, really well-rounded skill set. Ran through the competition on the Ultimate Fighter, victorious over Matthew Lopez in his UFC debut, but Rob Dvalishvili just puts up a pace that is unbelievable, and I think his aggression will really help him in this one and lead him to get it done. Unanimous decision for Merab here. All right, we move along in a big fight at 145 pounds. And to preface this, we have this Cub Swanson Shane Burgos fight. I heavily encourage everyone to head over to MMA DNA and check out our very own Big Marcel's interview with Shane Burgos ahead of this fight. Really fun interview there. So be sure to check that out. Anywhere else that can be found, Big Marcel, besides MMA DNA?
No, just the YouTube from MMA DNA or the website or the Facebook or the Twitter. But Twitter is pretty much hard to find since it's posted like a week ago. But yeah,
Yeah,
you can find it.
use that search bar. The technology is a powerful tool. All right, back on track here. Number 10 is Cub Swanson in the featherweight rankings, and he is actually an underdog in this one, plus 130. Hurricane Shane Burgos is minus 170. The Team Tiger Schulman product here. He is awesome, man. Great hands, really well-rounded skills. Was dropped in his last two via punches on the feet. One, Calvin Cater, who's finished in the Kurt Holloway fight, though, pulls out a really technical armbar after being dropped with a big punch. So highly impressive there. Talk about a banger of a featherweight fight, though. I mean, it Cub Swanson, 3-fight skid, but still very much, a force to be reckoned with at 145 pounds. He's by no means done in his career. And Big Marcel, is the rumor true that MMA DNA had the scoop on this one?
Yeah, we would have had if what was that Canadian Sports or something wasn't there earlier. I was
TSN or something?
no, it wasn't TSN, it was someone else. But I was writing it up, and then it was scooped. So yeah, not had the scoop, but we knew about this one. So yeah, next time maybe, right?
Yeah. MMA DNA, they got some good scoop. They get those fight announcements quick, so be sure you're following them if you want to find out the latest in breaking. I have a feeling we're going to differ on this one. I'm going to go with Cub Swanson here with the decision. I think he gets back on track, and I think it's just a different style of fighter for Shane Burgos to deal with. Big Marcel, where you at?
50-50 fight, man. In my opinion, I think can go both ways. And if it's a 50-50 fight for me, I always pick who I want to win. So I pick Shane Burgos. Totally not biased here. Of course I am. But yeah, I'm kind of biased here because, yeah, man, I really hope he does well. He's such a cool dude, And Cub Swanson, he's a veteran, man, so he can still do it. I think this will be a very good fight, man. This fight can't, how do you say it? Can be off. I don't find the right word to say, but this can be boring. This is a fun fight. So when it was announced already, everybody was looking forward to this one. So yeah, just check it out. Enjoy the fight as long as it takes.
And how does Burgos get it done?
Oh man, he's gonna kick my ass, but will be a unanimous decision.
I'll tell you what, Shane Burgos, extremely smart and articulate guy. I heard him, I believe this was on Mike Heck's old SFLC podcast, breaking down fights, and man, he is very analytical, very technical, really sees a lot of different patterns and different elements of the actual fight. So it's really cool to hear a fighter's take on breaking down and analyzing a fight. And I look forward to hearing more interviews from him, and he's a really sharp guy.
Dude, seriously, he would be a great fit to be in a color commentator or something, man.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, I like Paul Felder. I don't think he's the most technical guy when it comes to the actual techniques and the actual skill set. I mean, I love what he does on the commentary. I think he does a great job of maintaining the broadcast, but
I
sometimes I
love the
kind of wish they had more of like a Dominic Cruz, or someone who's very technical and knows exactly the types of moves and things that are happening. I feel like Paul Felder's a little bit of a brawler than his style, and it comes out on the broadcast.
True, but I love the Felder Fitzgerald combination all the time. I love it by Contender Series. They don't do that often anymore. I know Fitzgerald is now with Michael Bisping on Saturday, so yeah. But I prefer the Felder Fitzgerald one instead. I don't dislike Michael Bisping. I think he does well as well. So,
Yeah.
but I'm just not a real big fan of DC in the booth. But everybody knows that right by now. I think I always hope DC is fighting, so I don't have to hear him in the booth. So.
All right, well, it's co-main event time, and we head up to 185 pounds for this one. And according to Vegas, it is a coin flip. Derek Brunson taking on Elias Theodorou. Brunson currently at number 9 in the UFC rankings. Had a bit of a rough go in the UFC's, coming off that TKO loss to Israel Adesanya and Ronaldo Jacare Souza. Elias Theodorou currently at number 13. Um, hasn't faced. Oh, I'm sorry, Theodoro. Yeah, sitting at number 13. Brunson, though, we know he struggles with the heavy hitters. We've seen that in some of his fights, but he does not face the type of heavy hitter that he's faced in the past with Elias Theodoro, who is 16-2 overall. He's 8-2 in the UFC, 3 straight decision wins. He's more of a volume and a range guy. Not a ton of heat coming behind those strikes. Big Marcel, what do you think in this co-main event here between Derek Brunson and what is it? Invicta FC's ring boy, Elias Theodoro.
Yeah, I think Elias is going to make this an ugly fight again, and he's going to win by split or unanimous decision. I think he can. Probably Brunson's going to look for the knockout in the first round, and I think Elias can escape the first round and will probably win by a close split or unanimous decision. Um, yeah, that's what I think, man. Like what he always does in Canada, keeping the distance. Lots of flashy stuff that doesn't land, but what he always does, man. And remember, he fought Thiago Santos and he didn't get knocked out. He only got a very deep cut under his eye, but he didn't get knocked out. Keep that in mind, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I will challenge you there because Thiago Santos in 2015 is a much different fighter than Thiago Santos in 2019. Nonetheless, though, I agree with you. But I'm actually going to go the other way here. I'm seeing Brunson getting it done with that first round knockout. There's just this trend of some of these veterans getting knocked out for what seems like the first time lately. I had Tim Means and Brian Barberina as notable ones. Also Michael Johnson, but I forgot about the Justin Gaethje knock. I guess TKO, but the
Brunson, Brunson younger than Elias.
yes, I believe so. No. Sorry, I believe Elias is the younger fighter here,
Yeah.
but they're both fairly early 30s. I'm gonna go Brunson TKO in the first round. Kind of
Okay.
a hot take alert, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Main event time, and man, when this got announced, I was excited. Talk about a great fight on paper. This is a truly exceptional bit of matchmaking at 155 pounds lightweight division. Al Iaquinta, sitting at number 4 in the rankings, is a minus 130 favorite against number 8 ranked Donald Cowboy Cerrone, plus 110 underdog for Cowboy. And Cowboy, man, what a stud. I mean, a UFC staple. He will absolutely step in there with anyone. Just has the right mentality every time out. And he's back at lightweight now for the second time. Put that tactical victory over Alexander Hernandez last time out. I know we had a disagreement on that one, and he was the underdog. He's won back-to-back fights now after submitting Mike Perry prior to the Hernandez fight. Now, Iaquinta, how can he not love Raging Al? I mean, the UFC issues seem to be behind him. Coming off that less than 24-hour notice loss to Khabib, he then beats Kevin Lee with a decision. Hits hard, well-rounded. Big Marcel, man, how is this fight going to go?
People kind of hate me for this one, man. I love Cowboy, but I don't see him making any chance against Ally Quinta at this moment. I think Cowboy is a great fighter, all-round great guy. But Ally Quinta, dude, I know Cowboy has the fire as well again, but Iaquinta's younger, and I see him making it to the top anytime soon. He got a fight with Khabib where he lost. It was a decisive loss, I think, but he still did well in that fight on short notice, taking a 5-round fight against the best guy in the lightweight division. So, man, I have to go with Al Iaquinta here, and I think he finishes Cowboy if I had first round or second round TKO. I really think that.
Yeah. Man, I love
You look,
Cowboy too.
you look so disappointed in me. I'm so sorry, man.
I had a feel like I kind of had a feeling you were gonna pick Quinta. But I wasn't sure, so I was just curious to hear what your take was. But I mean, I really can't add too much more to what you said. Quinta just seems like he's on another level right now, and just the way he he throws his punches are just so clean. I love the way he mixes it up. Very well rounded. I don't think this fight's going to the ground all that often. If it does, maybe Cerrone gets him down, but we know Iaquinta is a well versed grappler in his own right. I say he gets it done TKO second round, but wouldn't be surprised if Cerrone lands one of those big head kicks.
Man, I didn't expect we had the same for this. Okay.
No, yeah, but we got a few differences on this card, and that's a
Yeah.
good idea. Let's go ahead and run down our picks real quick, and then we'll pick
Especially for
bonuses.
Keith Chilling.
Show the thrill out there. All right, kicking things off at 135, we're both taking the newcomer Cole Smith to get it done over the returning Mitch Gagnon, first fight in 4.5 years, second fight in 4.5 years for Gagnon there. We're split on the next one. I'm going to take the veteran Arjun Buller. You got the chosen one, Juan Adams. Next up, we got both taking Matt Sales to get it done over Kyle the Monster Nelson, both taking Nordine Taleb to win over Kyle Prepelec. But let's be real here. We're rooting for Prepelec because I don't approve of Nordine Taleb blocking my boy Big Marcel. Eamon Zahabi going to get it done over Vince Morales. We've both taken him there. Both taking Andrew Sanchez over the newcomer Marc-Andre Barrio. Taking Walt Harris to get it done over Sergey Spivak. Split on the next one. Big Marcel's going with Brad Katona, Superman. I'm taking Merab Davalishvili to get it done there. Split on the next fight here. Hurricane Shane Burgos via decision for Marcel. I got the veteran Cub Swanson for a decision on that one. I'm taking Derek Brunson to knock out Elias Theodoro in the first round. Big Marcel is taking Theodoro to make it an ugly fight and do what he does best with a decision. And then we are both taking Raging Ally Quinta to finish Donald Cowboy Cerrone in the main event. Big Marcel, we got bonuses to hand out here. Performance of the night, give me two.
You go first this time.
For performance of the night? All right. I'm going to go Derek Brunson and Walt Harris, big ticket. I know like the main event's usually more likely, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Take Brunson and Harris on this one.
Okay. I'm taking Elia Quinta. And no, this is a tough one. Macy Chasson.
Ooh, good one. I missed that. I didn't even read her off. I'm sorry. We both have Macy Chasson winning against Sarah Moras. All right. Since I went first for performance of the night, you got to give me a fight of the night.
You know that already.
Swanson Burgos.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm taking that as well.
I expected you to take Katona against Moran.
That very well could be. That's going to be a great fight.
Definitely.
Don't sleep on that one. And main event could be a fight of the night as well. Talk about a great fight there too. All right. We have to do lock of the night. Big Marcel, give me your lock.
My lock, Macy Chasson.
All right. Just to be a little different, I'll go Nordine Taleb as my lock of the night.
I'm just disappointed you go for Nordine Taleb. Just kidding, man.
Underdog picks. Okay, we have to choose from. Let's see who I have to choose from. I got Arjun Buller. I have Cub Swanson. And that's it. All right, I guess I'm going Arjun Singh Buller for my underdog pick here. Your options are Theodoro, Brad Katona, and that's it.
Yeah, let's pick Elias.
Elias, okay.
This is a pretty safe pick in Canada, so.
Yeah, I will say if that fight goes to a decision, no matter what, I think Elias is walking home with the win there.
Exactly.
All right, recapping the bonuses. Fight of the night, we're both taking the obvious choice, Cub Swanson, Shane Burgos. Performance of the night bonuses, I'm going to go with Derek Brunson and Walt Harris. Big Marcel is going Ally Quinta and Macy Chasson. He is also picking Macy Chasson as his lock. Well, I'm going to go with Nordine Taleb there. Underdog picks for the evening, I'm taking Arjun Buller. Big Marcel has got Elias Theodoro. Anything else on your mind, Big Marcel, before we wrap things up here?
No, that's it, man. Just confirmed Renato Moicano, Korean Zombie main event, Greenville.
Great fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Always love to see the Korean Zombie in there.
Yeah, me too.
Big Marcel, I want to get your take real quick. Saeed Nurmagomedov out of UFC 237. In
Yeah,
steps Carlos
yeah.
Haushin. It's very rare. I don't know an up and coming UFC, mixed martial arts professional, especially someone with more than 10 fights. I've never heard of Carlos Haushin. He's out of Peru. His nickname is El Perro Malo, the bad dog. Uh, any thoughts on that, or any I guess insight to why he might have gotten the call when tons
No
of
idea.
Brazilian talent to choose from?
No idea, man. I know he trains with the Pitbull brothers, I think. So maybe
Yeah.
that's a thing, but I have no idea. I also didn't know him. So
Hmm.
I heard, but by the way, that Said was injured. So that's
Okay.
why I saw it.
Yeah. Was just curious. Not sure there, but contender series starting to take shape. Some really fun fights coming up on that one. Any ones that stick out to you off the top of your head?
Contender series. Yeah, the Brandon Loughnane against Bill Algeo fight is a sick fight.
That's something else, man. That's going to be a heck of a fight.
Yeah, definitely. There are some other ones which I'm looking forward to, man. So I don't know them out of the top of my head, but there are
Yeah,
some
Carl
fun.
Reed against what is his name? Julius Glacius.
Yeah, the
Glacius, yeah.
and Maki Pitolo is also now on the contender series. He was supposed to be last year, Coconut Valley.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
enough to look forward to, man. And how is it? Ramis from Fortis MMA, Brahimi.
Brahimai.
Yeah, he's also.
Ramiz, yeah. Does he have an opponent yet? I can't remember.
Um, it's like this. I saw on Nolan has that complete list on bjpen.com, right? And
Yeah.
the week Ramis has announced when he fights, he's a welterweight. There is only also another welterweight fighting, but his opponent is to be announced, so it's probably him. But I'll look up who it is. Let me
Yeah,
check.
I'd be curious about that. Ramiz Brahimai, man, everyone at Fortis talks about how talented he is.
Yeah.
I believe he's 8-2, coming off a win in the LFA. Did take a loss in the fight prior, but man,
Mig-
he's a savage.
Miguel Baeza.
Bay. Oh, okay. MMA Masters guy.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
because
down in
Miguel Baeza posted 3 hours before Ramis posted that he was in on June 25th, and both posted the same. So
Florida. There's your fight, Big Marcel. Putting the pieces together, connecting the dots. All right. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find and follow you.
MMA DNA, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my personal account, Big Marcel24, Twitter and Instagram.
You won't regret it. Go ahead and give Big Marcel 24 a follow. I'm Trademark MMA on Twitter. Feel free to hit us up. We'll happily talk mixed martial arts all day with anyone out there. Although if you're one of those Australia naysayers who doesn't believe that MMA DNA's exclusive scoop about the upcoming UFC pay-per-view in Australia, I don't want to hear from you.
I love that the New Zealand Herald, that the newspaper, they have put now like, yeah, October 6th might be this and that. They didn't source us, but they put that as well. So I'm already happy. Some legit
I'm
paper.
tweeting the New Zealand Herald right after this call, and I'm going to tell them.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Credit your sources, man.
BJ credited us, so hey, man, I'm happy with that one. You know.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back. Is it next week that we got UFC 237 down
Yes,
in
man.
Brazil? Man,
Yes.
back to back to back. But we'll be back next week. Talk UFC 237. Be sure to subscribe to the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. Check out some of the other shows on the network. We'll be back next week. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.